Thank you guys so much for coming back to watch this episode of Sincerely Alana. And just to remind you guys, you can also go to sincerelyalana.weebly.com to check out the previous videos. So for today's video, I'm going to be a little more lighthearted and talk about confidence. Confidence is one of the big goals that I have for this year, especially with trying to promote it within the Pacific Islander community, especially among youth. I think confidence is something that we can all practice, but it's something that's very important and will continue to benefit us throughout our lives. So, without further ado, I would like to talk about the do's and don'ts that confident people do or don't. The first thing that I would like to point out as a don't is that confident people do not fear failure. Failure is welcomed, and it's an opportunity to learn and grow from your mistakes. Failure isn't always bad. And if you think about it, one thing that somebody told me that I really agree with is that the best stories, the best tales that you hear about, they all have failure. There is not one amazing story that, doesn't fail. If you think about it, if you're already at the top, or if it's an easy ride to the top, then, you're not going to go anywhere from here. It's like when people say that people in high school have reached their peak, and that's their peak their whole lives, that's because they've came to their climax, and that's it. The only way to go is down. So if this is your path where you're going and then you fail, but then you have so much more to climb and then you fail a little more, and then there's so much more to climb, that is an interesting story, and that is when you become a very well-rounded person, and people, they believe your experience. You're more experienced, and yeah, overall you just have more confidence from learning from your mistakes and being a better person and becoming more successful. Number two, that relates to, not fearing failure, is also not fearing criticism or feedback. Yes, sometimes it can be hard to hear. Sometimes the truth is always the hardest, but it is also very helpful. So confident people, they take that feedback and they learn from it. It's a similar thing to failure. Like, even though it might not be a mistake or a failure, if somebody's telling you how to improve or that you're doing something wrong, look at that as an opportunity to grow, really take in what they're saying, and be even better than before. The next one, number three, is something that I think we all have to work on. I know I sure do. It's making sure that things aren't about yourself. So what this means, and I really like this example, is like when you walk into a party and you hear people laughing, and like that insecure person within us is like, oh my god, are they laughing about me? Am I wearing something wrong? Like, what did I do? No, 99.9% of the time it's not about you, and you just gotta kind of get over that. There's this thing where if you do believe in that and you feed into your insecurity, you often tend to shelter yourself off, and you're not being very receptive to the other things going on around you. Whereas if you ignore it and you continue to just exude your confidence, you're also exuding this aura of just overall amazingness, and more people are going to want to talk to you. You're not going to be as worried, and you're going to be a little more carefree and open to the other people and opportunities that can and probably will present themselves to you in those type of environments. Number four, confident people don't believe everything that they see or hear. So one thing that I think everybody has to learn from is that not everybody has your best interest in mind. So it's good to be cautious when people are giving you advice or telling you what to do or what you should do. But confident people, they don't believe everything that they hear because they're aware of this, and also they're able to take a step back and make their own decisions about whether it's right or wrong for them. And that usually involves, doing their own research, looking into their own situations and things that present themselves, because they trust their gut. They go with their instinct, and more times than not, your instinct is going to put you in the right direction. So once you have confidence in doing that research, you're going to have confidence in the decisions that you make, and therefore you won't need to rely on what you hear or see from people, the internet, social media, or advertisements. So, do your research, be more confident. Number five, confident people don't seek out attention. They kind of keep to themselves, and like I said, when you're confident, you really do trust in yourself and your abilities, and therefore don't really need approval or acceptance from other people. 6, Confident people usually set small goals for themselves and they're not afraid to celebrate those small victories. It's all about maintaining confidence and trying to build it up even though it might be something really small. 7, they also celebrate small victories for other people. So oftentimes I feel that confident people definitely support others and empower them to also feel confident. And a big reason why they share those victories with each other is because confidence feeds off confidence. Number 8. One thing that kind of relates to why they celebrate with other people is because they don't benefit off of making other people feel negatively about themselves. So with confidence, you usually develop a sense of humbleness. So instead of confusing confidence with arrogance, it really is about just empowering people and loving yourself as well as others. Number 9. Usually when you're confident, you tend to have more belief in yourself and what it is that you're saying. You also have a clear stance on your opinions and what it is that you believe. In result of that, your speech also tends to change. So instead of saying things like or well, I think, no. You're much more assertive. So you definitely have a solidified stance and more people are drawn to you and how you speak because you're not so hesitant. And last but not least, number 10. I think this one's very important and also something that we need to practice, and it's knowing your self-worth. Confident people don't think that they're less than anybody else, and they don't think that they're better than anybody else. They just have a very clear understanding of what it is that makes them important, why they're special, and that is all self-worth. It's something, like I said, we all need to practice, and one way that I practice self-worth is at the end of every day, come home and make a list of everything that you do right. Even though you're having a bad day, I guarantee you there's at least one thing that happened that you did a killer job at, and just make sure to write those down and celebrate those small victories. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give a big thumbs up if you liked it. Also leave a comment on what it is that you'd like to see in the future. Be sure to subscribe so you get updates on the latest videos, as well as go to sincerelyalana.weebly.com to check out previous videos, as well as resources to local Pacific Islander organizations, upcoming events, and other information surrounding social issues. Be sure to spread peace, love, and positivity, and also practice confidence and self-worth. Mahalo!